Hello guys, it's been a while, yeah, I miss you too. I guess we all knew this video was coming. If you've been in the Mugen community for a while, then you might already know what's been happening. False claims have always been... Let's talk about that for a bit, shall we? In this video, I'll be talking about the three parts of the current situation right now, or is that well, me, with the hopes of finally clearing up all of the things Boston has been coming up with this past couple of months. Hey, it's me, Wizord from the future. Wizord from the past, you're stupid because you won't be able to do that because Boston doesn't know how to shut his mouth. But anyways, let's just continue with the video. So yeah, we're just gonna be clearing some stuff here. Oh, by the way, before starting, you might have already noticed, but I'm gonna refer to Mugen as Boston, his original username. So yeah, just so you don't get confused. So I think we all kind of know what Earth is at this point, right? A Mugen sub-community owned by Zeezy and Zeezy being the co-owner. It has been up for not so long ago and it's already getting trashed by Boston, throwing false predator accusations, saying that it's the most dangerous group from ROBLOX, having multiple predators residing in the community. We'll get into that later. Right now, let's just talk about one of them, Zeezy. Zeezy is kind of a big deal. She helped him with the games, such as scripting of stuff, well, along with obviously some other people doing the scripts for him as well. But Zeezy was like this secret weapon, you know? She used to be Boston's right hand, if you will. Have you noticed how Kidney Stone hasn't released yet? After 1 year? Yeah, about that. Anyways, at one point, Zeezy and Boston were in a relationship, in quotes, back in like August. Yeah, I say in quotes because at the first week of the relationship, according to Zeezy, Boston was already talking about dick sizes, circumcision, and after all of that, saying he was already planning to go to her country. Yeah, he even confirmed it to me. The weird stuff he says also includes the screenshot with one of his closest friends, 1AK, saying that he thinks about fucking her more than he actually likes to admit, that she looks like what his brother will look like, which is perfect for him. Pause! Hold on, what? Wait a minute now. Hold on, wait a minute now. What's with that brother comment? Didn't you say you had a brother before? And let's say, hypothetically speaking, that you do have a brother. Wouldn't that be such a weird, creepy thing to say, dude? What I said isn't creepy. If you want to judge the private conversations between three adults, go for it. But really, you should be judging the person who exposed the blah blah. The previously private conversation is now public. So you just can't really call it a private conversation, you know? And when it's shown to the public, I do actually have the right to judge. It's out there to be seen. It's inevitable. Things such as Boston encouraging Zeezy to repress her gender, telling her how HRT will kill her, trying to make her change identities, etc, 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 will finally make Zeezy break up with him. The perfect boyfriend. This just made Boston really mad for some reason and started sending wall texts to Zeezy, guilt tripping and blaming the failed relationship on her. Yeah, because he's so perfect, you know. There's a lot of things here. I just can't cover them all. I'll leave the document Cone made along with some others that explain more in depth the past controversies and things Boston got involved into. This drama kept going for a few days, but at some point, it seemed to be cooling off. Zeezy was just being Zeezy. Boston banned Zeezy from my server, and things seem like they will just stay like that for a while. At least until Boston and Zeezy will stop having resentment to each other. Guess what? Didn't happen. People that were in my server already know what happened with the whole exposing Boston document situation. Me leaving the community, Melissa creating Oris, etc. Not so long after all of this happened, Boston did a... what did he do again? The fucking document. There's also this document Boston made a couple of months ago. He posted it on a video which has been deleted now. The document had various screenshots of Zeezy saying bad things to people and etc. The document has already been debunked, and it's pretty stupid when you actually look at the screenshots with the right context. One of the clearest examples being this one. That quality is awful. Much better. There isn't much new context. But with the better quality, you can actually see how nothing else that would be considered sexual was actually said, only that one joke Zeezy made. Boston called her out for this, but my other friend just kind of dropped that fuck yourself, not your lungs thing. Like, it's pretty much nonsense to call out Zeezy for this, since his two friends just doing dumbass jokes. So you see how Boston complained about Zeezy mentioning her thighs in a message? Well, Boston sent these messages in a group chat that were full of minors. Even you, Boston, you gathered all of their ages, which is something creepy I might add, even though they ended up being inaccurate to their actual ones. You did assume they were minors beforehand, and with this in mind, you still send these messages. Now, Boston is calling out Zeezy as a predator, and this is one of the things that shows predatory behavior for him. Wouldn't this also count as that? It's sick how you just make a big deal out of something, only when it's convenient to do so. Also, guess who joined the drama after the document dropped? Rubensim! Woo! Boston also kept dragging Ruben's Sim in this whole situation for some reason. I like how he puts Ruben's Sim in this big golden pedestal as if he was some kind of god we're talking about. Don't get me wrong here, Ruben's Sim, one hell of a content creator. I really like his stuff. But my man straight up went, "You are not a girl. You will never be a girl." And then Boston used the, "Oh well, but it's a criminal we're talking about" argument, as if it was a good reason to be a transphobic fuck towards someone. Some people have been referring to Ruben as being transphobic here. Let me explain his thought process. He's interrogating this person, and suddenly they pull the "I'm a soft 19-year-old girl" card out of the blue. It's very awkward, and honestly, it does seem like he's using his supposed transsexuality as a shield. Boston is just real hypocrite in this part. They pull the soft 19-year-old girl card out of the blue while discussing something serious. You pull the "I'm a small boy that means no harm" card out of the blue while discussing something serious. Oh, and also a bunny for some reason. And this. And you say you mean no harm? Guys, I think he's saying he means no harm. The transphobic part is just disgusting, and I just can't say anything about it. He tried to justify his wrongdoings and transphobia towards Zeezy because she was being interrogated. Okay? Is it really necessary to say this type of things though? And even if Boston didn't say it directly, he's allowing this kind of behavior. So, it's pretty much the same. Though if you want something more directly, he was shown to be transphobic towards Zeezy many times when talking about her. Even taking it to an extreme as you saw in the screenshot, his supposed transsexuality. He's spreading misinformation about how Zeezy is faking her transsexuality for God knows what reasons. And the worst part is that his reason to be transphobic is because he was shown what Zeezy was doing, so he just, I don't know, snapped back to reality and said, "Oh well, guess I'll be transphobic now." Zeezy-phobic. What kind of person chooses when to be transphobic or not? And many times, he was calling people with confirmed brain issues or just straight up autistic, as if it was a bad thing to be autistic. Other examples are being not mentally sound, a piece of shit, a vile cunt, a girly boy. He can come up with anything he wants to anyone. In fact, we talk about how Boston was calling out Zeezy as a predator. He later called her a pedophile, and now he's calling her a child. You see how he keeps escalating, right? The level of exaggeration is insane. To end this off, there's this one screenshot of Boston saying he may fly to call the cops on Zeezy, with the evidence from the document. And keep in mind that he knows where she lives. I thought this drama was about ROBLOX balls, guys. What the heck? I don't know if he'll do this. He has taken many flights before, but even if he doesn't, this just proves how far he will go to ruin somebody's life for any reason, literally. So what can we say about all of this? Boston is cyberstalking and almost physically harassing Zeezy. Not to mention he already got to groom her. Yes, grooming. Grooming does not only apply to minors. It's more common for this to happen to minors because they're more susceptible. But it can also happen to adults. You don't just turn into an adult and instantly get your shit together. That's not how it works, sadly. He has taken many flights before. We know this because he told his members in his Discord server that he will be gone for a bit because he was going somewhere else. So he is capable of trying this cop idea of his. Does Zeezy really deserve this? To get the cops on her because of thigh pictures that weren't even sexual and saying dumb shit? No, holy fuck. However, the images in the document are a bit questionable, yeah. for people that don't know anything about this drama, he sees this and it's like, oh shit. Even Zeezy acknowledged this, even I thought that it was a bit questionable. I do get where he and people come from, but the problem that I have is the misinformation and the over-exaggerated description Boston keeps spreading, making it look worse than it actually is. I mean, look at this shit. He sent a Garfield emoji, he couldn't care less, dude. Some people appearing in the documented screenshots confronted him about this, and he tweeted saying how they were just lying to defend Zeezy. Oh my goodness. And when somebody DM'd you about not giving any permission to you to use the screenshots, you come at them with the biggest ego and respond as if you were Jesus or something like that. It's almost like you have this superiority complex. You say you know the truth, but it's nothing more than twisted lies. And the other part I don't like at all is the transphobia. He even admitted to be comfortable to be a Mina Robinson. I mean, transphobic, in other words. So again, for me, with all of this in mind, Boston is a horrible person. I can't say anything else really. He doesn't even try to defend himself, and it makes him look worse. That's all I have to say for this case. Hi, okay, so I wasn't originally going to add this because this video centers more into the current situation, what's happening right now, but yeah, it's kind of important. There's this guy called Humbug saying weird things about a 15-year-old boy, or just saying weird things in general. He was also in the Roblox Myth Hunters Discord server back in 2018. This is kind of important to have in mind. I think Humbug is without a doubt Boston in one of his alternate accounts.
You fool! I have 70 alternative accounts!
They both talk in a similar manner. They both have these weird messages about girly boys, for some reason. They both walk a long period of time daily. This image of Jesus posted by him, this one's kind of interesting. So we have this really ancient picture of Jesus in a place that looks similar to Man of Seven Shingles' place. You know, the one where the first rock walkers appear and the fungi cake is hidden in one of the walls. Let's take two things in mind. One, the map of Seven Shingles is two separated maps from two different games put together. The first game being DVD's Man's sequel, and the other one being this game that was never publicly released nor talked about. Second, Mugen wasn't known by many people. I believe that's when they got the Finnish Bastusag for the first time. So Humbug posting what could really possibly be a very old version from the game, along with a good Jesus model, it's already kind of telling us that this is Boston himself. Another thing that leads me to believe that this is Boston is this. God damn it, Boston. If you don't want us to believe that this is you, just say it's not me and give good explanation and arguments and all that stuff. But I think it's too late for that. Okay, we already talked about Zeezy. Let's talk about Tatsu, which is supposedly a predator too, somehow. Tatsu is an artist who mainly draws FNF related stuff currently. He has made several drawings of Mugen too, which are pretty fucking good, and got kind of known in the community for a while. So with this in mind, why the hell did Boston send him this? What the heck? Yeah, so Tatsu, aside from drawing big, buff, awesome fellas, he also draws shotas. Shotas, I don't know how to pronounce it. What is a shota, you may ask? In anime, a shota character is a little kid, or more generally, any underage male character. Now, there's also this other term, shotakan, which means a completely different thing. A shotakan person is someone that likes shota characters. A shotakan character is someone that is sexually attracted to shota characters. It does make sense for people to think this term also refers to real people being attracted to the underage characters. Boston doesn't know about this. I don't blame him though, like, it's really confusing. It wouldn't be a problem if he wasn't publicly calling out Tatsu as a predator, which isn't even the right term, by drawing Shotokan stuff when it's not even what Tatsu is doing. Check this drawing for instance. It has the Shota tag and it's not NSFW. And this drawing, and this other drawing, oh but then there's this one. How do I put this? Speaking of Boston not knowing the right definition of words, again, look at the page he uses to get the words definitions. Truly a masterpiece. Here is a cute definition of what the two different words actually mean, and here's someone who refuses to accept the facts. Just the term Shota alone is very, very rarely used by anyone in Western society, and when it is, it's in a lewd context 100%. It's not always 100%, but I do see most of the people complaining about how someone just mentions that word. Some people only know the definition you're bringing up, and some of them know both definitions, but refuses to accept that there's actually two words for this, and they both mean different things. Like you ignorant. If you're gonna use a word, at least know its actual meaning. Like, especially in this type of situations when you're calling out someone. If Tatsu was normal, he would have tagged it with boy, not a term used for referring to children in a... yeah. So, let's say, for instance, you're drawing a furry. Your drawing looks nice, it looks great. Now, you're about to post it. What tag are you gonna put? Are you gonna put animal? Are you gonna put freaking animal? Animal standing in two legs? No, you're gonna put furry, dude. If you're drawing certain thing, you have to put that certain tag for that certain thing. You don't just put little boy, little kid. You're gonna get mixed results with that, and it's not gonna be good. It's literally right there when you look up Shota alone, because that's what it's associated with in Western society. Boston, I think you're gonna need some new glasses, because we're talking about Shotas, and you're showing us a Shotokan definition. And if you search Shota alone, like he said, like he did, the first two results that you're gonna get are this. The two words with their two different separate definitions. Don't act as if you didn't see this, Boston. There's also this humanization of Smugson that Tatsu made. You remember Smugson, right? From the swamp. There are a few NSFW drawings of that sun, and Boston is complaining about how that human version of sun is a minor. So you're telling me this looks like a minor? Well, more like a Shota, he says. Since we're on the topic, you know? There is obvious differences that tells you that it's not a Shota, a minor, a kid. Just because he's short, it doesn't mean he's a child. And what's funny is that he doesn't even look like one. I feel like Boston just started complaining about this just because. Just to give bad reputation to Tatsu. After my friend sent proof and even an explanation from Tatsu himself to Boston, he just decided to completely end the conversation. I guess he ran out of arguments. I don't know. 18 years old already drawing shit like this in extreme detail and has a strange obsession with Shota boys. But yeah, nothing weird going on here, bro. Nothing weird. Nothing weird. Nothing weird. Okay, this is just ridiculous. So, what can we say about this? Tatsu's case is very different from Zeezy's, but also not quite. They both have been cyberstalked by Boston, but Zeezy went through more things. This, however, doesn't mean it should be handled as if it was a less important thing. Even if the situations are really different, I'm sure it causes the same level of stress to both of them. Tatsu has been harassed by many people because of his Shota drawings after the Mugen situation. He has been called a predator and many other things. The word Shota is controversial, but the word itself doesn't mean what the majority thinks, and it should be taken as such. Nobody should be repressed from doing what they truly love. As long as it doesn't harm anyone and himself, it should be all good. That's basically all that I have to say for this case. It's a really stupid attempt of framing someone innocent that successfully worked, sadly. Hopefully, this informs a lot of people. Okay, this is kind of silly now. This part was also not going to be added to the video originally, but it does count to the current situation, so here I go. So you know how the Cheeky Mod got trashed from Game Banana because of a copyright thing or whatever. The reason of why it actually got trashed is because of people Boston getting mad at an update we made to the mod. This update including a warning text informing people about Boston and his wrongdoings. It also lets you to one of the documents exposing him. So he went full apeshit about it and started saying to his followers that this was fake information, blah 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 blah. We already heard that joke many times now. His fake excuse was that we never had permission to use his characters in the Cheeky Mod. This didn't come up at all when the Triple Trouble cover was made. This also didn't happen to Friday Night Mugen, that has a bunch of other characters that our mod doesn't have. The version 3 of the mod didn't even have the characters he was complaining about. We were given full permission from Boston to use Cheeky and Omen. The fact that he decided to revoke the permission after the work was done is really shitty. And if you're thinking of doing said thing, you have to at least discuss it with the team. Because sure, we use your characters, but not your assets. Everything that was in the mod, we did it ourselves. Drawings, songs, etc. Oh, but of course, I'm an idiot! I forget you blocked us all! And you didn't even try to talk about this with us in the first place. And the fact that you were thinking about taking the mod down even before the update, it doesn't make it any better. And besides, that's not even how copyright works. You need a license. You know pretty damn well you don't have one. Why would you need a license for Roblox characters after all? When you were asked if you had a license or not, you completely dodged the question and basically answered saying, "Oh, I don't know, do I? Do they know I have a license or not? It's rude to assume things, you know." And you bring up Zeezy for some reason, and when you were asked again, you get defensive and just left the conversation. AFK. Sure, Grandpa, sure. So, here comes the good news. The mod might actually come back to Game Banana. If it meets all the requirements to get untrashed, then yeah. Boston doesn't have any kind of license, so there's hope of bringing the mod back. Oh, and speaking of the mod, Exparagon, one of the musicians of Cheeky's Revenge, made a document about her experience with Boston when she tried to resolve this whole drama. The document really shows of what Boston is made of. I really recommend checking it out. Props to her for at least trying this, to be honest. Okay, now to the final case. Me. And I just want to start off by saying that this was wrong to do. I should have never done this, even if it was a joke. I did this as a joke and sent it to a group chat with some friends. I obviously wasn't going to post that on YouTube, but instead and my dumbass thought that this wasn't going to cause any harm, but I was wrong. The point is, the thing I did just cannot be justified in any way. I realized that what I did was not right, even if it was made as a joke. It's still really bad. It's really bad. And I don't want anyone to defend me on this thing, because I already seen one of my friends defend me on this, and it didn't set well for me because I knew it wasn't the right thing to do. Even if that person is like not the best, I don't want to say anything, but I'll just say that it's not good. So I apologize if I failed and disappointed some of you that looked up to me. I really do. Now, with that being said, this is more of an apology to you guys, more than an apology to Boston. It's not worth apologizing to this individual, because at the end of the day, he will always be deaf from his ignorant and naive thoughts. And also because of what the fuck, man? Now that we got the serious part out of the way, let's do this one last time, shall we? Wizord, previously known as Salami Wizard, was a Mugen content creator that used to make Mugen animations on Roblox Studio. Before he even started his channel, he made a game called the Mugen Museum along with his friend Sebastian Dante. This will be the first tiny little steps to be recognized inside of the community. Boston saw how the channel growth increased rapidly as time went on. This made him start using Wizord's help to make the group popular back again, which worked real well, honestly. Everything seemed to be good, until the Zeezy and Boston incident happened. Wizord tried to defend him as much as he could, but a misunderstanding made Boston think that he was being accused of pedophilia. Wizord got spit in the face by him, and truly realized that Boston wasn't a good person and left the community in search for a better one. This is where Oris appears, something that will make Grandpa Boston really mad, starting a storm full of criminal accusations. Yeah, that Wizord guy is me if you haven't noticed yet. So my friends started to get harassed and cyberstalked by this guy, in which some of them are minors, except for Zeezy, obviously. He started to say that I was brainwashed by her because I was younger, which is simply not true and a really stupid mentality. If anything, I was brainwashed by Boston by always listening to him and not believing all the things people showed me about Boston the time I was helping him. You know, your typical Mugen fanboy. Sadly. Recently, things have been escalating a bit too quick. Boston stopped calling Zeezy a predator and switched to a child rapist. Does this man ever look for the definition of the word he uses? We also got someone else to talk with Boston and, as expected, it wasn't pretty. Are you really that much of a fool, Boston? Do you really not question anything at all to yourself when talking to someone about us the day after you got fooled by doing the same thing? Are you really that desperate for someone to give you his precious little time to tolerate your nonsense talking? If you guys don't remember, another proof that he over-exaggerates everything is when he said I made NSFW animations about his characters, which was not true. He was referring to the Who Likes Futonari and How to Spoon. I didn't animate them banging themselves. Oh my god, there's a difference there, Boston. And the worst thing is that he genuinely believes that he's in the right with this. So anyways, I think that's pretty much for the video. Sorry if this video wasn't what you expected when I said something big was coming. Maybe you were expecting something like from the mod or just anything else that is not Mugen drama related. I'm not gonna be uploading anything else until summer, maybe? I don't really know. I'm still looking how I'm gonna organize myself since school is starting soon and it's gonna be tough. But yeah, it's good to be back. Kind of. Anyways, see you later, fellas. Take care.
Ooh, I'm gonna be all up in those feet. Oh, I'm gonna just be sucking on each one of those tootsies. You can't hide them from me. No, no, no. You think you can, but you cannot. Oh no, there's no hiding those sweet, succulent tootsies from me.